And I would imagine 99% of elite-level athletes have that men should not be in women's sports. It's harmful to women to allow such.
Riley Gaines is no stranger to controversy. But this time, she's not just targeting trans athletes. She's going straight at the WNBA, accusing them of something so massive, so explosive. It's got fans questioning everything they thought they knew about Brittney Griner. According to Riley, league officials are forcing players into silence, pressuring them not to ask questions about Griner's real gender. And ever since she broke the story, radio silence, no denials, no statements, just an eerie blackout, like someone's hiding something big. Now, if Riley's even half right, this could be the biggest scandal women's sports has ever seen. A cover-up that reaches from the court to the front office, and possibly beyond. Let's break it all down. To understand how we got here, you've got to start with Riley Gaines herself. The swimmer who tied with trans athlete Leah Thomas in 2022. And according to Riley, the WNBA is doing more than just looking the other way. They're actively suppressing the conversation. She claims league officials told players not to discuss Griner's gender at all. No questions, no comments, no curiosity. Just silence. And since Riley went public with that claim, the silence has gotten louder. No one in the league is addressing it. No fact-checkers are stepping in. Even players who used to speak freely are suddenly tight-lipped. That kind of silence. It's not normal. It's the kind of silence you get when everyone's scared to say the wrong thing. When the truth isn't just inconvenient, it's dangerous. And now, people are asking, what exactly is the WNBA trying to hide? If Riley Gaines is even half right, the WNBA isn't just hiding a personal detail. They're protecting the foundation of the entire league. Because if it ever came out that Brittney Griner wasn't biologically female, and the league knew all along, it wouldn't be a scandal. It would be a catastrophe. Let's start with the legal nightmare. Lawsuits would come flooding in from players, sponsors, maybe even government watchdogs. Fans would demand answers. Former teammates might sue for unfair competition. And we're not just talking civil suits. We're talking possible fraud investigations, breach of contract, and congressional hearings. Then there's the records. Griner's career is stacked with achievements. All-star appearances, Olympic medals, championship wins. If her gender status were officially questioned, every one of those milestones would be up for debate. You think people wouldn't call to strip titles, void games, and recalculate stats? It would be legacy ending. And let's be real, this wouldn't stop at the WNBA. If a cover-up this massive came to light, it would send shockwaves across all of professional sports. Every gender-based league would be forced to reckon with what's real and what's being kept under wraps. This isn't just about fairness on the court. It's about the legitimacy of the sport itself. Brittney Griner isn't just another athlete. She's the athlete. The face of the WNBA. The one who survived a Russian prison, who the US government traded an actual arms dealer to bring home. That's not just star power. That's international headline territory. When Griner was detained in Russia, it sparked global outrage. Free BG trended for weeks. Athletes, celebrities, and politicians lined up to demand her release. And when she finally came home, the WNBA didn't just welcome her back. They threw her a hero's return. But here's where things get weird. Griner later admitted she'd never go overseas to play again, unless it was for Team USA. That's how intense her time in Russia was. And yet, despite all the coverage, not a single outlet ever confirmed where she was actually held. Because according to online whispers, Griner wasn't placed in a women's prison. She was allegedly housed in a men's facility. That hasn't been officially confirmed, but it was enough to send conspiracy TikTok and Reddit into overdrive. If the Russians already knew something and the WNBA's kept it buried this whole time, it raises one brutal question. Who's been lying, and for how long? It started as a whisper. Then the receipts came flying in. After Riley Gaines's accusations caught fire, online investigators started digging. First stop, Russian prison records. And while nothing's been confirmed officially, multiple sources claim Brittney was not placed in a standard women's facility. Then came the shirtless video. In an old Instagram story that stayed up for 2 full years, Brittney is shirtless. No compression top, no tape, no scars. A flat chest, clearly visible. No AI takedowns, no community guidelines triggered, just silence. Now imagine if that had been another female athlete. The post would have been flagged in 10 seconds. But for Brittney, nothing. And when people zoomed in and posted their reactions, it didn't take long before shirtless Griner became the centerpiece of the gender controversy. And while the video doesn't prove anything definitively, when stacked next to the silence and the rumors, it gets harder and harder to ignore. This isn't just a WNBA issue, not even close. Behind every WNBA decision stands a much bigger power, the NBA itself. Big Brother, the money, the brand, the co-signer. The NBA funds the W, promotes its players, and attaches its name to every major campaign. And yet, through all the noise, the NBA has said absolutely nothing. And to some, that silence speaks louder than any denial. Because if the WNBA goes down for covering up a gender identity scandal, the NBA goes down with it. That's shared branding, shared money, shared accountability. You can't pretend your partner's clean when their fingerprints are all over the mess. The NBA built its reputation on progressive values. But if it turns out they've been helping to hide the truth, that doesn't just look shady, it blows the entire brand wide open. If you think this controversy is just about Riley versus Brittney, think again. Because the internet has entered the chat, and it's not playing nice. While the WNBA ghosted Riley Gaines for raising questions, they suddenly launched an internal investigation over Caitlin Clark's fan base. A few spicy tweets, and suddenly it was, let's protect our players. Meanwhile, Brittney is caught on a hot mic mid-game, allegedly hurling a slur, and the league says nothing. Not even a fake PR tweet. Reddit and TikTok have turned into detective forums. Old rosters, shirtless IG lives, screenshots, audio clips. Fans are connecting dots faster than the league can delete posts. Comment sections are wild. Some mock the league's inclusivity campaign, saying they're letting a man run across a logo that says, "Respect women's sports." Others call Riley a rage baiter. But no matter the side, one theme is consistent. The silence from the league makes it worse. And the longer it goes unaddressed, the harder it becomes to contain. In the world of professional sports, image is everything. And the WNBA has built its image on inclusion, progress, and pride. But if even a fraction of what Riley Gaines is saying turns out to be true, then behind that polished exterior lies a truth so explosive it could rewrite sports history. This isn't just about Brittney Griner's identity. It's about what the league knew, when they knew it, and why they allegedly worked so hard to keep it quiet. It's about double standards, public trust, and the growing gap between what's said in front of the cameras and what's happening behind the scenes. Because when a league that claims to champion women's voices goes completely silent in the face of massive allegations, that silence becomes deafening. And the longer they avoid the questions, the louder they get. This isn't just controversy. This is the kind of story that lingers, that festers, that breaks things open. So whether you're Team Riley, Team Brittney, or just someone watching it all unfold, one thing is clear. The WNBA isn't just playing defense anymore. They're playing with fire.